Crewton Ramone's HomeschoolMath.com. 132. Is there some left? And they'll be like, yes, there are some left. How many are left? 12 are left. Okay, can I pass out those 12? Can you think of a fast way to pass out the 12? Little kids will help you. I don't recommend having little kids in the room if you're doing with parents, but sometimes you got to be the gauge. Sometimes they can be a help, sometimes they can be a distraction. Just like Andrea right now, they can be a bit of a distraction, right? But sometimes they can be in the room and they can be very helpful because the little kid in the room will be like, yeah, you just put them like this, and right? When the adults are like all scared and shy because they don't want to look dumb because they're doing math and so forth. All right, now we can see. How many did Kareem get? How many, right? Well, these should be lined up nicely, but there's magnets in between, so. How many did Billy get, the short back Boy Scout? How many did these guys get? Oh, they all got 11. This guy got 11. Everybody got 11. Everybody gets 11. Well, Mrs. Snagglefarts may have a problem with that because she's going to say you cheated. So let's go, right? Because I can't just say 12. Now, some of them, if they're older, they may have their multiplication tables memorized out. 12 times 11 is 132, and they may see that's obvious. Some of them won't. Some, it depends on the crowd, who you're with. All right. But I can say, look, didn't I first pass out 120? And that was 10 of them? And you're going to get some oohs and and oh yeah, okay. Is there some left? Yes, you told me there was 12 left. Were we done counting? We were not done counting. I had to pass out those 12. And then there were none left. So when I passed out those 12, that turned out to be 10 and one more. Oh! Then you take all this stuff away on your board. You draw the big old rectangle. You say, I have 132. One side's 12. The other side must be 11. And do that. And that's where you're going to get that. Oh! And then drill them. How is it possible that you went through 12 years of school and nobody showed you that? How is it possible that now, that if I show you something like this, and I show you that circumference divided by diameter is pi, and then I show you that circumference obviously is pi d, I don't have to remember it, because I know what pi is, I know the relationship, and so I can say circumference is 2 pi r, and that should look familiar to some. Some of them didn't get that far. We use rectangles to facilitate counting. Concept number 3.
Makes sense. Yep.
A lot of times you can stop right there. They're like, wow, I would like to know more. Great. If you would like to know more, I charge $50 an hour, and your kids can come to my house on Thursday at 5 o'clock, blah, 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 blah. Done. Short, sweet, right? None of this 4-hour training stuff, right? You don't want to spend 4 hours with them. You want to be fast. Bam, you can do that presentation on a napkin in a bar. Well, none of you guys would be in a bar with a napkin, but you know what I mean. You could be in a restaurant with your friends. You could be in a coffee shop. You could be whatever. You can do this presentation fast and easy, right? And if you practice it a few times, right, that's 15 minutes of presentation. Now you can go a little bit further if you have time, but keep it short. Do as I say, not as I do, because here we are going on 4 hours again. But do as I say, not as I do. Keep it short. Keep it short. Keep it short. Prick their interest. You want to know more? We'll do more. Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you want to take it to the next level and blow them out of the water, where they just go, oh my God, this is crazy. Flip the blocks over. And you're going to get every kind of reaction. The most common reaction you're going to get is fear, and you're going to hear all kind of their stories about how they hated algebra and they hated their algebra teacher and how this is what caused them to leave home as a child and because they hated their parents. And now you're going to hear every freaking story you can possibly imagine and how all their dreams went to hell when they couldn't pass algebra and they realized they weren't going to go to college and they decided to become a stripper instead. Whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm serious. I've heard, you wouldn't believe the stories I heard. And you know what I heard? I heard the same story coming out of different mouths in 49 states. Over and over and over again. I get a little choked up even now. Because I can tell you, there were times when I went back to my hotel room and I practically just laid down and cried. Because what the hell have we done with our school system where we've destroyed these women? Where I have I can bring you documents that show the University of Women made a report and they said, you don't even have to tell me anything about this person. I don't need to know whether they were the rich side of the tracks or the poor side of the tracks. Tell me what grade she got as a sophomore in high school and I'll build you a self-esteem profile. That's how great the correlation is. You know what the most common grade is? And you make this part of your presentation. You know what the most common grade in algebra is?
An F.
That's the most common grade. How does that make you feel? How does an F make you feel when you see that F? It's the exact opposite of the aha you had a second ago. All right? So now this is sales psychology. You bring them up, you bring them down, you end on the high note. Okay, so anyway, you turn the blocks over and you need to do a 3-period lesson. This is x squared. Looks like this. These now, we don't know how many they are. You have to develop this concept a little bit, but don't belabor the point. Just develop it a little bit where you can take it and you say, everybody hold this in your hand. And we used to do this long, depending on how much time you have. And you can feel that one side's smooth and this side's a 10 and this side's smooth. Just remember, algebra is a smooth subject, not a rough subject. You get lots of mileage with that line. And now I take this and I see, oh, I don't know how much this is. It's always changing. It's always varying. Right? And then sometimes you can stick a what's under the cup game in between. Like I said, it depends on how much time you have. But you can develop the concept of X. But just, if you tell little kids that this is X, they're good. Adults are like, well, why is that X? Well, because it's always changing, always varying. In mathematics, we call this a variable. And the most common variable is X. Can anybody in the room show me how to make an X on paper? How many X do I have? 3 of them. And these are just units. Okay, so now we've got our pieces identified. Very hard to play. And then you got to finish the 3-period lesson. What's this? And they'll say X. And you'll say, this is an X squared. Show me an X. And they'll pick up this. Or, you know what I mean? But you gotta get the no out of the lesson. Don't be like, no, you dumbass. That's not an X. That's a right. That's not an X. That's an X squared. You just get right. You just tell them, right? This is right. What's this?
Yeah.
Show me.
Right.
Okay. So then they show you this, and it's X squared. Okay. We know that everybody's on the same page in the room. Now, usually what I do is I tell them, oh, can you take that X squared, 3X, and 2 and factor it?
Yeah.
Okay, now, most people don't remember what factoring means. Now, most people in the room, like even if it's a room with 200 people, nobody's going to say, what's factoring? Unless there's a little kid in the room, and the little kid will be like, well, what's factoring, mister? Right? But the adults will usually not want to say that they don't know something.
That's true.
Okay, so you'll say, okay, do you know what factoring means? And then maybe you'll get a yes, maybe you'll get a no. And I'm going to say, factoring for us today means form a rectangle and count the sides. Now, here comes the part where you got to be patient and you don't do anything. Sit back and say, take these blocks and make a rectangle. I've gotten to the point where I can tell what kind of thinker it is by watching a person solve this for the first time. Just because I'm, like I said, I'm also a clinician. I have done this presentation and I have been in rooms. I can't even count how many times. I don't know. I really, if I try to do a number of presentations that I've done, I can't count them. It's thousands over the years. I've been doing this. Okay, so like I said, now for you guys, okay. So what to expect? Some people will quit. I can't do this. I don't know what to do. Give them a little encouragement. Just fool around with it. Any little kid can do this. I promise. Just try it. And then you'll get them making all kinds of stuff, and they'll do this. Can I do that? No, you can't do that. You need to. You can't. You got to have all the pieces together, and you can't have this and this. And then sometimes what they'll do is they'll do this, and they'll put the blocks on top or whatever. Because I'm like, oh, you can't, but you can't, right? And then sometimes you'll see the faster ones and the shorter, which ones get them first. And there'll be ones that just get stuck in this thinking they can't break this thing up. And then you'll get the ones that they get all more creative and they break it completely up. However they build it is fine.
Yeah.
Now the thing that's always amazing to me is just not 5 seconds ago they saw this in the Boy Scout story, or the watermelon story, or the peach story, but yet we've thrown algebra at them, and the reptilian brain comes up, and they're afraid, and they're a little scared, right? Even though they just saw this.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't be, right? That's gonna be what you get. That's how it is. Trust me. I've done it, like I said. Some of them, a few of them, may in fact go, well, yeah, we didn't just do this, and didn't you just do that, and it's the same blocks, right? That's a pretty rare person, actually, believe it or not.
Okay.
Anyway, and then however they build it's fine. Now, if they build it like this, you congratulate them, no matter what, praise. And they get that guy in there, and they get that guy in there, and then you just say, you know what, this guy's lonely, he wants to be over here with his friend. And you direct them, you control their error to where they get to like this. Not down here, because what we want to do is talk about factoring and multiplication, and we want to say, and then this is the other thing, is there's a point to this that I'll tell you, is that we want to show the division first, because we see that the division is just counting. What do we teach it last? We teach division last. Oh, wait a minute. Right? But if it's math is just the study of numbers, and all we do with numbers is count, we form rectangles to facilitate counting, I can do division first. I don't have to start with addition. Okay, so now I get them into this mode. Now it's going to be, when you first start off, again, put them in a position where they can't fail. X plus 2.
Right.
And they count it. What's this one called? It's not 3. They're not same kind. They're not same. This is one of the blue ones, and I could say this is one of these kind of. What was this one's name? X. Plus how many? 2. What is it this way?
X.
X plus how many? 1. Do not be dismayed if some people at this point burst into tears. The first time it happened to me.
5 minutes, sorry.
See that?
Yep.
And that's the next one where they go, right? Oh,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then you might want to just make it a little more clear. The last thing you have to do is you have to X plus 2 anywhere along here.
Oh, okay.
Right? And then at this point you may point out, okay, so the relationship is across and up for multiplication, and you may just tease them a little bit that, oh, didn't you just see this? Now I'm going to turn you into a math genius. Now I'm going to turn you into a math genius. Write that down. Now I'm going to turn you into a math genius. I'm serious. Canned presentation. Done well. Make sure you got the thing across, right? Make sure these match.
Right, okay.
And now you're going to say, if the whole thing is x squared 3x and 2, and I tell you one side's x plus 2, what's the other side have to be?
X plus 1.
And they're going to be like, right? And they got to have their hands on it. They got to have it right in front of them, not looking from the back of the room at the board or whatever. They got to have their hands so that they can go, oh, x plus 1, that's obvious, that's silly. And then do it again! And the room goes crazy. There's pandemonium. Oh my God, what? And then don't even do the other stuff underneath here. Don't bother. Just stop right there.
Okay.
You want to know more, come to my house on blah, blah, blah. You want to come back for training. Well, you want to know more, buy this kit for $500. That's how powerful this thing was. I could get people to part with 5 $100 bills on this presentation.
This is actually awesome, thank you.
Right? Now, questions around this problem. Can any little 5-year-old kid see that it's name this one X and 2? X plus 1.
Yeah.
Is this division?
I did this with a 6-year-old, so.
Any 6-year-old,
Not
any
the-
5-year-old, any 4-year-old,
not-
any one of them.
but-
Any of them.
Yeah. They actually pick it up quite quick. I
Yeah.
didn't do this presentation to them, but
There it is.
that's
Stop
awesome.
and let them, and just look at the reaction in the room. You will be, I'm serious, there will be people with tears in their eyes, and there'll be people who are shocked, and there'll be mathematics teachers going, wow, I've never looked at it that way before. People with degrees in physics, engineers, that are just like, holy cow. And then you'll hear the teachers of mathematics, sometimes, especially the female teachers of math, well, I like the symbols better. Fine. Go forth from me and
That's what
darken
I
my
had.
door no more.
Yeah.
But on the balance, you will find that they're just amazed. And he said, look, we can start doing this with your kids. And you don't have to go into, oh, we're going to use this to teach multiplication and addition facts. Just, wow, this is cool. You should probably give me $50 an hour. You should probably give me at least $128 for a combo kit and a set of multi-10s. You should probably, right? I have had people tell me that they go to my homepage on my website and it says, oh, a free presentation. That one's an hour long. You can watch it. It's on the thing. Right? And that's not a good one. That just happens to be one that I had handy that I did in California.
Okay.
But anyway, and because there's nobody in the room, it's just me in front of a camera. If I had somebody in the room, it's better. But anyway, the idea being is that you show them that, bam, you got them, they're sold. They're sold. They're sold.
Perfect. Thanks so much, eh?
You're welcome,
I
man.
was thinking for another few hours, but I have to be somewhere at 3:30.
I know, there you go. And you had blocked out an hour of time, which is what it was supposed to be,
Yeah.
and now it's 12:08.
Well, I need a bit longer, but see what I've done to my desk.
Yep, there you go. Excellent. Excellent. That's what you want.
We're at a whiteboard.
There you go. Anyway, so there it is. 5 concepts. 5 concepts. A story about Boy Scouts. Flip the blocks over, do a story in algebra, and shut up.
Yeah.
That's it.
So don't talk too much, right?
Yep. And just kiss, right? Just that simple, that whole concept, right? This.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
And then you can't, again, I can't see, don't sell yourself short. There is no one out there showing 5-year-olds how to do this.
That is true. That is true. Yeah.
Hey!
All right, thanks.
All right, I'm done. I've been done for a long time. I was done an hour ago, and then we somehow went another hour. All right, so, Anna, send me a PayPal at your convenience.
How much?
$20.
Sure.
I think you can handle it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can handle it. Thank you.
All right.
Huge. You're getting a virtual hug.
Yeah, okay, great. I'll take it.
All right.
Crewton Ramone's House of Math.com for more.